Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the most important panel of the Future Mineral Forum this year that will give us an answer to the question, can the mining industry of the future emerge here in Saudi Arabia? And it's also one of the best timing post-lunch, so we need to bring some more dynamism to the panel. Today I am joined by excellent professionals and enthusiasts for the industry. I think, gentlemen, we can take the seat. And I'm joined by Engineer Abdurrahman Al-Belushi, Deputy Minister of Mining Development here at Ministry of Industry and Mineral Resources in Saudi Arabia. I'm joined also by Abdulaziz Al-Hamav, Vice Chairman, Chief Executive Officer, Modern Industrial Investment Holding Group. I'm also joined by Dr. Daryl Clark, the Executive Vice President, Exploration at Ma'aden. I'm joined by John Webster, Chief Executive Officer, Gold and Minerals Company. Also, we have a seasoned professional, Geoff Day, Chief Executive Officer of AMAC, Naif Al-Duraishi, General Director of the Partnerships and Products General Department at Modern, and Suleiman Al-Otaim, Chairman, Saudi Gold Refinery.
Welcome.
Although I am joined by these excellent professionals and enthusiasts, we will have also you in the room participating in the panel and those who are following us online globally. We would like you to take an opportunity and use the QR code that will be displayed in a moment to tell us your opinion about whether the mining industry of the future can emerge here in Saudi Arabia. But let me also open with a quick poll among our panelists about the question. So, can I ask you to be brief and on the scale of 1 to 10, to say your confidence about the possibility of the mining industry of the future to emerge here in Saudi Arabia, and what is the one most important thing that you would like to focus upon to make it happen? And can I open with you, Deputy Minister, because I believe it's in your job description, the mining industry of the future to emerge in Saudi Arabia.
Well, thank you very much, Igor, for a very inspiring question. And I would refrain from mentioning a number, because that might hurt my performance targets of this year. But if I may quote the Mining Journal, they quoted Saudi Arabia as the fastest global jurisdiction in terms of de-risking mining investments in the world. We have been the second in their permitting index. We were the top 10 in their fiscal regime index. And we were among the top in terms of overall risk, one of the top 10 globally. So with that, I think our focus today is to accelerate the duration from the start of exploration all the way to the production of a mine. That period must be reduced. Today is 17 years on average. This has to be shrank all the way to something feasible, taking 5 to 8 years, something that is manageable, something that will avail all the products that are needed for the energy transition.
Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Minister. Can we go to you?
I think Modern, since I'm one of Modern members, has the mission to implement NIS strategy, which includes localizing high value added factories that consumes mining products in Saudi Arabia. And since the NIS has a strategy to reach number of 36,000 factories by 2035, which is very fast growth comparing to the previous decade, I think this will have its impact on the mining sector by accelerating the growth of mining sector as well.
Your level of confidence on the level of...
mine is 9 to 10, honestly.
9 to 10?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Sulaiman.
My confidence in the mining sector is 10 to 10. Because we do have the minerals, which is a golden opportunity. We are in the world of paradise in Saudi Arabia because we have the minerals, we have the infrastructure, we have the electricity, we have the support of the government by 75% of the plant. If it costs you $1 billion in any country, here it costs you only 250,000 US dollar. So 250 million US dollars, so only 25%. The rest is the government is compensating. So we will see tremendous growth within the coming 5 years. And today they say it's about 2.5 trillion. I believe within 5 years' time, we will get the numbers announced by the ministry 5 times to 10 times, because the ministry, they are giving the license and the work is being going in the land.
Thank you. So 10 out of 10, Abdulaziz?
Yeah. I have witnessed and experienced the petrochemical revolution in the kingdom and how it took to succeed and Saudi Arabia becoming a major hub in that sector. With today's environment, I believe the mining sector is geared up to be a big success. I have no doubt that the mining sector will become the third pillar of the economy.
So I take it as a 10.
I give it 10.
Dr. Dario?
For me, 15 out of 10. and the only comment I'll make, thank you. The only comment I'll make is we have to double down our efforts to create skilled workforce here in the kingdom to support our growth, and we'll be there. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff?
Thanks for calling me a veteran and not calling me old. So I'm 11 to 15 as well, right? You know, we're a demonstration that the mining industry is already there and can make a valuable contribution. I wholeheartedly agree with His Excellency the Deputy Minister that, you know, shortening the time frame from exploration through to production is key to realise the vision. However, thinking more strategically, I think how we maintain societal support for the mining industry is going to be a key thing for the sustainable success of the mining industry. We've seen jurisdictions around the world support the mining industry, society turns its back on the mining industry, and we lose the value. So from my perspective, picking up on your point, you know, training, development, getting people philosophically and you know, strategically, skill-wise aligned with the industry's values is going to be fundamental to sustaining the growth that we're starting to see now.
Thank you. And the last but not least, John.
For all the criteria that you normally look for developing projects in a country, Saudi Arabia ticks every box. Anybody that's had to deal with the ministry or SNAD or the environmental people sees a highly enthusiastic group of people that are all with the same aim, and that's to encourage the mining industry in Saudi Arabia. So I get a same as these boys, 15 out of 10.
Thank you. So we have quite positive panel. Just as an invitation to all of you here in the room, but also online, if the organizers can help us with the QR code, you can use your smartphones, and also to cast your vote and about your confidence and what the most important enablers are for making it happen here in Saudi Arabia. But I don't want to repeat the same thing that we have heard on other panels, and we are no doubt living in the era of the race for critical minerals. Everybody is racing, everybody wants more, everybody needs more. There are very traditional mining jurisdictions that are well positioned in the global mining market. There are more emerging markets in mining like Saudi Arabia. Dr. Dario, with your extensive international experience, what makes Saudi Arabia a champion or candidate for making the future industry in mining to happen right here?
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to address the audience with that question. You know, I've been discovering, building, operating mines across many geological terrains on the planet here, and what I observe and what I see here in Saudi Arabia, and what gets me very excited, are a couple of unique geological features we'll talk about in a minute, but also, you know, the background. We have great infrastructure, we have great stability, you know, mineral endowment, infrastructure, stability are the key ingredients. We have that. Okay, so Let's talk a little bit in particular about the geological endowment or the mineral prospectivity and why I'm excited about that. Let's look at the shield first. So Saudi Arabia, geological speaking, is broken up into two big chunks. On the western side, we have the shield, and on the eastern side, we have the platform rocks. The shield is well known. There's good copper mines in there. There's plenty of gold mines in there. There's lots of lead and zinc. So we have proven mineral endowment there. We have massive residual prospectivity still left there. Nothing demonstrates that better than the announcements that Martin, my company, our company, a lot of my colleagues are here in the audience, made over yesterday. We had announced 2 new discoveries in an area in the Shield that's about 2.5 hours drive north of the Jeddah airport. The first one, Wadi Ajal, where we intersected 203 meters of 1.7 grams per ton gold, essentially from surface, okay? Let's look at that story just a little bit. The license was granted, thank you to the ministry, late in 23. We had boots on the ground in February of 24, did the soil geochemistry, identified the anomaly, put a drill hole on it in August, made the discovery, the assays come back in October. So from 9 months, from concept, field work, bang, first target. That's 1 of 6. It sits in a corridor 27 kilometers long. Immense value there. 7 kilometers away from it to the northwest, we released another result yesterday. 74 meters at 10 grams gold and 1.3% copper. Again, world class, at surface, in Saudi Arabia, in an area that's away from our known mining areas. So clear evidence that the geological endowment is there. The other unique thing is what's happening on the platform. So yesterday on this very stage, Aramco and Martin made a joint venture announcement about exploring the platform for large deposits, energy transition minerals, as lithium's one of them. That announcement was made. There's clear geological evidence that there's very large sedimentary hosted copper deposits located on the platform. Very proud to be in that consortium looking for those deposits and bring that wealth forward. So again, great prospectivity, unique geology, lots of stuff. We're finding things at surface, good corporate support. We need to work on the people. That's my message. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ar. If I can turn to you, Deputy Minister, and I'm not going to force you to say the level of your confidence. I don't want to influence your bonus, as you mentioned, but I want to give you an opportunity to actually say, what have you been busy with over the past year, so it allows also to Dr. Darir to say what he said. What capacity and capability have you been building to attract this emerging mining industry of the future to Saudi Arabia?
We've been busy listening to explorers and miners in the kingdom and around the world. We gathered 3 components, or 3 critical elements that are important to their success. They always want lands, they want data, and they want financing. So if I look at data, I'll start with the data to be specific. We did our own data acquisition projects. We've been working on the regional geosciences program, and that is nearing completion. And we will start off with the detailed mapping program that should be completed by 2030 at our geological maps at 1 to 50,000 scale. But that's not enough. The private sector data are much more valuable, and now we're trying to add the private sector data to the National Geological Database. Over the past 5 years, 1.3 billion Saudi riyal have been spent on exploration, and that's a wealth of geological knowledge that should be in our geological database. So the second thing is lands. We've been working actively on generating the data rooms, availing 50,000 square kilometers worth of lands for tendering in 2025. This is the size of a small country. It's 5 times larger than everything that we've tendered in the past. These are areas of mineralized belts, very promising, as Daryl mentioned. You're looking at Nugra belt, you're looking at Nabita, Khibrat belt, highly mineralized belts. and we really hope it will attract the right attention. The data rooms are already public, and the tendering will happen in June. Winners will be announced in July. The last thing is financing. We've been actively looking for the networking between Saudi investors and international technical expertise. And we've created about 10, 15 companies, but that's not enough. Last year, we've injected about 70 million Saudi riyals via the Exploration Enablement Program for 6 companies. And this year, we're working on launching 120 million Saudi riyal worth of incentives to be distributed to companies that have the right technical expertise, that are focused on green field exploration, on critical minerals, or what we call in our mining law, Class A minerals. So it's, in essence, it's these 3 components, lands, data, and financing, that will continue to push through until we have the right tier 1 discoveries that can satisfy our required demand.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's not only mining, but it's also other sectors, more downstream sectors that needs what we mine and what we dug out of the ground. That is something what is important and what drives the investment into mining. And so Saudi Arabia has enormous ambitious plans with the National Industrial Strategy as well, developing 12 priority sectors that are hungry and thirsty for what is coming out of the mining, whether it's automotive, renewables, machinery and equipment. And Saudi Arabia is also positioning itself as a potential future world-class processing hub, manufacturing hub. Knife, with your organization, how you see that role?
Yeah, I think with the launch of NIS, National Industrial Strategy, back in 2022, the Kingdom has positioned itself very well on that, and Mudun itself has implemented very much initiatives to improve the environment of investments for manufacturing. In order to accelerate the growth of industry, just last year, 2024, a new 775 new factories has selected Mudun as their partner to start their manufacturing with Saudi Arabia. We expect the numbers to even increase this year, and this numbers double the time that before the NIS. So with the launch of NIS, this number has been doubled twice in 2023 and 2024. We have launched since then several industrial cities with a basic infrastructure, which is the perfect environment to start their business. And we connected this infrastructure with advanced infrastructure such as smart city solutions and other tenants and enablers. Last Saturday, the Ministry of Industry has launched the standards incentives as well. This is another initiative that I think, I believe it will boost the growth of industrial sector. I think the main enablers for industrial with mining is the logistic infrastructure, which we have been working on heavily last year. We just last year announced the connection of the MAM2 to the railway, and we are building a railway station there. And this has been done on the demand of connecting the mining sector to the industrial sector, as many of our tenants in that area is in the metallic and non-metallic industries. And the other one, creating a new platform connecting as well the mining and the industrial. All these and other initiatives that we are working on in terms of infrastructure or environment improvement or investment journey improvement with the Ministry of Industry and other entities within the ecosystem has improved the ecosystem, and it's expected to boost the growth next year, inshallah.
Thank you. Thank you. And as we know, and as we heard also many times during this great gathering, no one will make it on his or on her own. The partnership is the word of the day, and many stakeholders must work together to make it happen. Let me turn to the local businessmen who have seen it all, from exploration as we discussed before the panel, to the earrings. Mr. Suleiman, what does it take to bring everyone together to make it happen and to see the success?
First of all, it has been 40 years in the industrial, as a jeweler, as a jewelry manufacturer, as a refinery. Then the invitation is received by the Minister Hisham Nader at 1990, which has encouraged us to come to the mining sector. We visited Mahd al-Dhahab. It was golden opportunity. That price, that time, it was 252, and the cost 110. Eventually, by 206, we started receiving the license. And once we received the license, we have the first joint venture with DRA. It was 206. But once we received the license, it was not forbidden to have a foreigner, not like as today, it is free for every country. So after the opening of the new law, now we are very easy, very flexible, and we have several joint venture has been done, and we are entered to the new tender, which we hope that will be successful in it, which is about 2,000 square kilometers with one of the best Africans. Simply, we have the drone, we have the geophysics, we have the drilling, we have the lab. So what we need the expertise for their internationals and the design for our mines, so we can combine each other. We have the base, and they get us the brain and the design plan and their expertise. We do it ourselves, and we are successfully by hiring German, British, from South Africa, from Turkey, to combine all this to serve us in a certain way. And we still have a portfolio to have a joint venture, whereas our partner for the joint venture can manage portfolio, because we already in extent to be one of the major players in Saudi Arabia, and we are extending all over Saudi Arabia. Our license, some in the north, some in the south, which is about 3,500. So we give the opportunity for our partner. And this FM, we are signing 2 MOU for a partnership to be showing up very clear. So the total, we have 3 MOU.
Thank you. Thank you. And we in the mining industry, we pride ourselves that we are very technical, we are very technology driven. Geoff, can I turn to you and to bring us a little bit more from the technology point of view? What technologies you see that can be adopted in Saudi Arabia? And Saudi Arabia has some specifics, water scarcity, high temperatures. What technologies we can bring really to supercharge that acceleration to the mining industry of the future in Saudi Arabia?
That's a good question, and I guess I've been in the industry for over 40 years. I am a mining tragic, and I guess you could look at my career or my exposure to the mining industry in sort of two parts. And I think in the first part of my career, the mining industry was very slow to adopt technology. We weren't even slow followers. If you look at the petrochemical industry, for example, they were light years ahead in the way that they identified technological improvements, embedded it into the way they do things. The mining industry was a little bit slow. But the important thing is over the last 10 to 15 years in particular, we've just seen that transform significantly. So there isn't a part in the value chain or the work program of mining for which technological improvements or advantage hasn't been either identified or either by mining companies themselves, but generally through third parties, and brought to bear much more quickly than it had in the past. So I think from my advice to the Saudi industry is how you embed that and you provide that nurture for technology development within the industry, within Saudi. So, as I was saying before, from exploration, from the very start, from exploration, significant improvements in technology around not only just the traditional geophysics, which is how El Masani, where I work, was found back in the 60s, but the advances in geophysics, downhole sensing techniques, how we log core. It's just improved out of sight. So it makes, to the Vice Minister's point, how do we bring things to fruition quicker? It's around how we more quickly assess the potential of areas, and we either bring them into advanced exploration or we move them on. So we then go into resource development. So we're now able to, through things like Reconciler and things like software systems like that, to be able to turn around and almost track mineral endowment from the face almost through to the smelter. Again, things that historically took an enormous amount of time and effort and manpower. In the drill and blast the drill and blast space, the work of our colleagues with Orica in making digital mining a reality have seen significant improvements in productivity, reduced cost, and improved ability to better predict the best hill of value for an operating mine. You look at the work that Hexagon's doing with Mardin. It's amazing. It is truly, truly amazing. This is taking pretty complex data. So mining has more multivariates, if you like, in terms of how you statistically analyse data than most other things. And the work that Hexagon's doing with Mardin in making the digital mine of the future, it's at the forefront of how the industry is changing. And then you go back to things like procurement. Again, the technology improvements in the Internet of Things, AI, in looking at the global supply market and saying, what's the sweet spot for buying chemical X or reagent Y or our grinding media. So I think the ability to transform and value add from technology is limited by our own imagination. I'm very, very happy to see the support that the Kingdom is giving to technological hubs to just, A, look for other opportunities, and B, bringing it online sooner.
Thank you. Thank you. John, before I go to you, I just want to encourage the audience here in the room and also online to use the QR code and to tell us what you think, whether the mining industry of the future can emerge here in Saudi Arabia. But John, with your extensive experience, and again, going back to the partnerships, what do you think there are benefits, or what benefits are there for the international companies to find the right partners here locally, to bring the technology, to develop the mining resources? What is your experience?
I've been in Saudi 6 months, and those 6 months have been very interesting. And I've spoken to a lot of potential international partners that would like to come to Saudi Arabia. And it's interesting, the comments I've received is that Saudi Arabia is viewed generally as low risk, whereas, and surprisingly, countries like Australia, Canada, South Africa are viewed as high risk. And a lot of that goes to the way that the whole industry is viewed. Nowhere have I come across in 6 months, and we've been very, very busy for the last 6 months, nowhere I've ever come across push back. It's always push forward. I've been involved with ESNAD and the ministry and the Environment Agency. All of the guys I've interacted with, they're all looking for ways to help, which is, if you talk to some of the gentlemen here, is very unusual. There's no vested interest, there's no groups that are pushing back, people gluing themselves to roads. The local population is extremely friendly, they're highly educated, the educational facilities here are excellent, of both men and women. So the potential for streamlining this educational system towards the requirements of the industry is very good. We're working with a local university to introduce mining engineering courses. We're talking to the local trade schools about biasing training towards the mining industry using heavy equipment, chemical engineering, introducing mine geology and mineral processing into the universities here. We've met with most of the universities here, and every area we see promising potential for actually expanding cooperation and actually supply of Saudi students into the industry. And again, the companies, the international companies we speak to, they're very excited about being able to get into the Saudi Arabian market. The geological potential, as these gentlemen have said, and the technology that we have available really helps with the ability to fast-track both discovery and fast-track into production, which is our aim as a company as well.
Great, and good to see from someone with 6 months experience to be so positive. So thank you for that. Let me also mention another thing, that everyone who is wise is learning from others, from other experiences. And Saudi Arabia has been historically one of the most successful country in extraction of other resources, oil and gas. Undoubtedly. It is a benchmark for the world. And let me turn to you, Abdulaziz. And you have been the veteran, and you have seen the development of that industry. What is there for miners to learn?
You know, Saudi Arabia transformation as one of the globe leaders in oil and gas and petrochemical provide a compelling blueprint for the mining sector. The successes of Aramco and SABIC and becoming leaders on their respective industry by adapting vertical integration, strategic partnership, technology advancement, quality human resources development, marketing, provide a good lesson to be learned for the mining sector. And I'm sure the mining sector will succeed by adopting these principles. The mining sector today in a better position. Why? Because of the Vision 2030, which provide additional encouragement to the mining sector. As you can see, with the incentive packages that's being provided by the government, which include tax breaks, grants, competitive financing, infrastructure, and so many additional incentives. I have no doubt that the experience of the oil sector and the petrochemical sector will definitely help the mining sector to succeed much faster than before. I'm very optimistic about the mining sector, and I believe the work that has been done by the Ministry of Industry and Mining and the Ministry of Investment and Ministry of Energy will ensure the success.
Thank you. Thank you. And we are running out of the time, but it was an extremely interesting discussion. But I want to give you a magic wand into each of you and to wave it before we look at what the audience think about how to answer the questions that we have been trying to answer in this panel. If you had that magic wand and you could wave it, what would it be? One thing, again, that you would want more, you would want faster, you would want better. Can we start from the far end of the panel, John?
My magic wand would say more young, educated Saudis.
Okay.
I'd say the same. I must admit, you know, it's competency development. How we, as I said, it's how we develop the skills that the mining industry needs for the future. Not only what we need now, but in the area of technology and all of the things that I was mentioning before. So, you know, if Saudi is going to retain as much sovereign wealth as it can from its endowment in minerals, it's got to be driven by an increasing number of Saudi participants in the industry. So I think it's the strategic advantage for Saudi as a country is in skills development in support of the mining industry.
Thank you. Dr. Dari.
Thank you. Yesterday, I was listening to a presentation in here from people from Finland. I think there were some ministers here. They described a mining ecosystem in Finland that would facilitate the training, the education, the need, the drive to create the pool of people and the mining services that we need here to realize the mines of the future. So if I had a magic wand, I would create that mining ecosystem here and I would model it after successful countries like Finland.
That would be a very long magic wand.
It's a big magic wand, and I may need a few unicorns.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah, 2 points here is a continuous improvement of the regulation and coordination between regulators. It's very important. It's very good now, but we continue to drive more and more. 2, ensure taking advantage of the new technology that exists today and the continued improvement of technology.
Thank you, Mr. Sulaiman.
Without opportunity, there is no movement. So giving the license from the ministry, it will make the race for all the company to run and to achieve the target. Training, technology, fund, money, it is all not a problem in Saudi Arabia. Just giving the right opportunity and let the people work according to the law, they will achieve the target. 40 years back or 50 years back, when Saudi Arabia want to grow wheat, they give loans for the farmers, and Saudi Arabia, they export wheat for the world. They stop because of the water shortage. Today, the Saudi Arabia vision, they want to get mining. Tomorrow, we will produce copper.
Yeah.
As a manufacturer, we'll produce the all consumed. Now we get it raw material, then we go and to make it industrial. That is the vision for the country for the long run. That's mean a product, like we are making the petrochemical.
Thank you.
The petrochemical.
Give the opportunity to the entrepreneur, they will
Yes.
make it. Knife?
Acceleration of hosting more R&D and business incubators in Saudi Arabia, which hopefully will accelerate the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Saudi Arabia.
Thank you, Knife. And before I go to you, Deputy Minister, can I ask the organizers to show us the result of the audience? Let's have a look at what the audience think. What are the most important things for making it happen? So, investor-friendly regulation and environment, specialized workforce, we talked about it, skills, we need the skills, we need the young skills, sustainable local international partnerships, we talked about them, cutting-edge technologies, well, we will not make it without adopting them, and favorable funding, money. All of that, what we discussed about. So, Deputy Minister, this is your menu to focus upon in the future. But final word from you as the orchestrator of the future mining industry in Saudi Arabia.
I think there's a lot to work on. We will work on the regulation, the financing, bringing partnerships, but we need the team here, the miners, the private sector, to find us another Olympic Dam, another Escondida, another Oyo Tolgoi. For the non-miners, this is the Ghawar. If we want to repeat the oil and gas experience, it was sparked by Ghawar and that discovery. So how can we replicate this? Hopefully next year, the survey will be on them. Rank their discoveries and rank their new deposit.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. This was me, Igor Hulak from Kearney, and the panel of extraordinary metals and mining hearts. Thank you very much.